Grab your beverages and turn up your interweb. Solving the world's problems 12 ounces at a time. It's Dudes and Beer.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to episode 114 of the Dudes and Beer podcast. I am Chris Jordan, your host, back in Austin, Texas, live here in the cave. I am here with, as always, Stephen Bishop and Julie Connally.
Hola.
We are also joined by Jeffrey Gottlieb, who joined us on a cookout episode long ago, as well as the awesomely awesome
100th episode,
Christopher J. Oglesby, local Austin artist, deep thinker, former lawyer, all kinds of stuff. Just, you know,
yes.
It's like he runs the gamut. It's amazing.
A friend once called me a Renaissance man, and I said it was probably more ADD.
all right. Fair enough.
Guardrail to guardrail.
The scientific term.
Yeah.
The medical term for it.
Well, and when we get back, we're just going to kind of say we've just been sitting back and chatting about all kinds of stuff. So that's basically what we're going to do tonight. We're just going to have a lighter side episode and sit back and talk about things that we've seen going on and things like that, right after this message from our sponsor.
Have you ever thought about brewing your own beer? Is the urge to brew there, but you just don't know how to get started? Well, Dudes and Beer is here to help. Stop on by the new Dudes and Beer Amazon store and check out all the great brewing supplies and gear today. We have it all, from instructional books and do-it-yourself kits for beginners to 16-gallon cooking vessels, carboys, bottling supplies, and cleaners for all you homebrew pros out there. Everything you need to brew your favorite beverages, even distilling equipment. So stop on by the official Dudes and Beer store today and get your hand on the greatest new brewing essentials. Simply visit dudesandbeer.com and click the Dudes and Beer store tab. Once again, that website is dudesandbeer.com and click the Dudes and Beer store tab today. Happy brewing, everybody. And until next time, drink responsibly.
And we are back. So, before we actually started recording, we were talking about all kinds of crazy adventures in life, things like that. And there's been some stuff in the news lately about the young man who actually passed right after he was returned from North Korea.
That was crazy, man.
And I will admit the fact. I crossed over a border like that, and it got pretty dangerous.
Right.
I remember my buddy Derek and I were on a train from Budapest, and it was supposed to go north, and instead it went south. And at the time, it was the mid-'90s, and the whole Bosnian conflict was going on.
I was going to say, you could end up in a war doing that.
Oh, no, like we saw it out in the distance in the window. They came in a language that we didn't understand, and we're like, these tickets are no good here. It's like, where's here? Slovenia. It's like, great.
Well,
and literally started walking down the train with our passports. And it's like, no, wait, hold on, man. Crazy things happen at moments like that. And it's just, it's wild to see that even nowadays it still happens. You know, even with the guy randomly apparently going across the border in North Korea. I don't know how you don't see a pretty well demarcated border myself.
I think he knew he was there, didn't he?
Did he?
I thought so, yeah.
Okay.
Apparently he tried to remove a propaganda poster.
Yeah, he took a poster down for a friend.
There's
that was
actual
at a
video
hotel.
of it.
And the secret police.
And they
There was a video of it, actually him taking it down.
Oh. Well, yeah, I mean, that's just destruction of property. That's
Really, 10
silly.
years of hard labor?
That's, hey.
I think
For
it was
a
more like
poster?
15.
Hey.
if I'm
Was
not
it
mistaken.
15?
Yeah.
It may have been in a limited edition. Who knows how many of those posters they actually put
hard.
How
around.
many millions?
It was North Korea. They could have killed him with an anti-aircraft gun.
Yeah. They could have done anything that they wanted.
Well, what's even
Well, they
more
did.
harsh is the condition he came back in. That
Yeah.
was
Not okay.
Yeah, no, it was crazy wrong.
that's BS.
Well, we see it all the time, even with the American justice system.
Yeah.
I was talking with a friend of mine about that yesterday, about how people just tend to get railroaded with stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I frequently will have someone come up to me and who happens to know that I'm an attorney, and they'll say, "Hey, a cop did this to me, blah 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 blah. Can they do that?" And I said, "Well, if he did it to you, then they can do it."
Yeah.
I mean, you just described to me the fact that they can do
They
that.
did. So
And they
he
did it.
had
So,
the ability to do it. So he
whether
did
a court someday later on down the road may decide that that is going to happen, that's a whole nother story.
Whether they
But
should or
whether
shouldn't.
they can do it, if they did it to you, then yes, sir, they can do that to you.
I think the
because-
phrase is asked and answered.
Yes, like you just told me that they can do that because you told me they did it. So
Whether it's actionable in the future is something
it has
completely
nothing to do
remote.
with it. And then I've been on the receiving end of that, where
Yeah.
it described some roughing up by a cop that once happened to me. That's a whole other story that I won't get into. To some of my friends who were lawyers, and they're like, "I would have been saying this and this." And I was said, "No, you wouldn't have.
Like,
No, absolutely, you would not have been. You
Yeah,
would have been
I
going,
guarantee-
yes, sir. Give
You
me
would have
another
been
one,
eating
please.
a billy goat.
Please,
yeah.
thank you for hitting me. That's what you would.
Yeah,
say.
like
Thank you, sir. May have another.
Yeah, I guarantee-
like
yeah.
That felt great.
Well, and that's just it. When the situation,
really,
Best
dude.
you got? My mother hits harder than that.
yeah.
Yeah, or that. Yeah.
May I suggest using your nightstick, officer?
I see a taser in that
A
though.
mama
Your hand
joke
looks really tired.
is always appropriate.
Well, and I think most of the issue that we have, especially
Then you're asking
with,
for it.
with that, is
A little bit.
just poor response training. Poor response training. I'm trying to remember. I want to say it was Utah that had like 0 police-related shootings this last year.
Whoa.
Because of the insane amount of readiness training.
They
that
need a
And the
Nobel
lack
Peace
of
Prize.
people.
where it was, actually training them like how to react to people, how to react to certain situations, how to not overreact, and
How to not shoot somebody just because they're crazy.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Austin has a little problem with that.
Just a
We do.
little.
We do.
A little bit.
We do.
Or because they have a dog.
Yeah.
Like their dog gets loose, so they shoot them and the dog.
Yeah.
CBS Sunday Morning Show this last weekend had Dick Gregory, a story about him, and it was a great thing that I think should be on T-shirts. That he said, if cops were going around shooting people's dogs as often as they're shooting black people, people would be up in arms. Like, are you kidding me? You're shooting dogs like that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
And I thought that should,
Exactly.
Pretty
that
telling.
should be on a T-shirt. Really,
Exactly.
because it's like. Really?
Yeah.
It's a dog.
Seriously. I mean,
Yeah.
It's a human being.
but people would be, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
They would be.
I mean, if cops were randomly shooting dogs or barking and loud
Yeah.
or scaring them in some way whenever they wanted to,
Yeah.
which is,
They were guilty of walking while
I don't want to
phone-legged.
accuse cops of doing things, but you do see that a lot. I'm
Yeah.
not saying every cop's willing to do that, but
Yeah.
why do you keep seeing that? It is something. I'm not going to say every priest is a pedophile, but it does seem to be an occupation that attracts
Occupational hazard.
pedophiles.
It is.
and I'm not saying every cop
Yeah.
is a gun happy bully,
Right.
but it's a great if you are a gun happy bully, it's a really good job for you to have.
Sure. Well, it's a great job for and a really good friend of Stone Winchester, who's been on the show before.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking
Stoney.
about that yesterday,
and it's a hard job to
it's a-
recruit people into.
because
so, I mean, if you're likely, you know what I'm saying.
like I was a seminarian. For
Why
a
would you
year.
want to be a cop?
Right.
Yeah.
That's one reason why
Right.
you might like to be a cop is because you like to bully.
Wait a minute,
others.
I get to beat
Right.
people?
It's not the same as what it used to be.
And the
You know what I
benefits.
mean?
Also, I do believe that 80% of cops are people who genuinely believe that they're there to help people.
Yes.
I mean, I do think that
Absolutely.
most people who are cops, like most people who are priests or clergymen, are too.
That's right.
But they are great. It's a great cover.
Right.
Well, you have to
It's
think
better
number
than
one,
being a garbage man if you want to go beat people.
Well, yeah,
You know, I don't know what's
no, because I mean, I can
Just
tell
talking
you
about
as
the few
someone
cops I
who was a
personally know.
seminarian, you go through some intense psychological examination.
Yeah.
Very intense. So
Can't
you
be
would.
that intense.
It is intense. It's 30
Boston
days.
in the 80s.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I understand that. The fact is, a sociopath is a sociopath. A sociopath would easily be able to do that, just like any teacher that goes out and touches children.
Right.
At the same time that was going on in Houston, there was a Jewish rabbi and 2 Presbyterian ministers. There were a couple cops that were giving kids rides in the back of their car. And some firemen. So what are you going to do? Result to anarchy and not call the police when something happens because they may come molest your children while they're trying to help you?
What I think in the cop culture, there should be less defending the people who are actually criminals that are cops. Because that's what happens. The cops all get around each other and they bring them in. They go, look, this guy, he's wearing his uniform and they're the thin blue line.
Right.
And that's the problem.
Maybe.
There's just some mediocre, crappy ones. But,
and you never hear
some of them are actually these sociopaths. In any situation.
Absolutely.
There's a certain number of population, and if there's an occupation that attracts those type of people,
then there should be some better things in place to kind of corral them.
Yeah, there should be less protecting. Once they shoot somebody, get off their fucking bandwagon.
Yeah.
Right.
And let them be treated like anybody else who shot anybody else.
Exactly.
Instead of acting like that they are more justified because they're a cop for shooting.
Exactly.
Somebody. They should be equally as culpable as anybody else, regardless of the fact that they're a cop.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
I like it.
Yep.
Yes.
And that's my only problem with cops is the fact that they protect each other.
And that situation, that exact situation.
From doing things that are illegal.
That exact situation.
And it should be not encouraged, that you wouldn't encourage anybody else to act that way.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's
you would encourage them to act the way these Utah people are.
Yeah.
Right. I know. We got to figure out.
Try to make it safer for all of us.
Right.
Instead of thinking that, well, I've got to protect my. I'm sorry, I don't always believe the most brave, manly thing to do is pull a gun out at somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the guy who shot the naked kid who was running at him.
Yeah, that's the last resort.
He's like, well, he's crazy. He's hopped up on drugs. He's coming at me. So you shot the naked kid.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
You're such a pussy.
Yeah.
You're such a fucking scaredy cat, you big fucking cop.
Or paranoid or something.
That this naked guy who doesn't have a weapon on his hand is freaking you out so fucking bad that you have to shoot him.
He was such a threat to you.
Why is that okay?
Yeah.
That's the situation where you wouldn't. No normal. If some crazy old man in the street was shooting somebody, he would be completely culpable. But if the guy's wearing a uniform, once again, I don't want all the people calling in and saying that I hate cops.
Oh no, I like cops. You're not a cop.
But the cop,
you're not a cop.
That person is not somebody that needs
You're like
to be
me.
a
Like
cop.
if I see, I daily thank cops whenever I see them. Like, thank you for what you do. They take on a hard responsibility in life to protect people, and unfortunately, there is that slim slice of the pie that ain't.
So they should just be
more
like, willing to weed those people out, like they would anywhere else.
Just like in any office. Like
That's
if you work in an
criticism.
office atmosphere, there's probably about 80% of the people that are cool and you can go out and have drinks with. But there's a good slice of like 15 to 20 that you better tighten your lip up around whenever you have a drink, son, because it's going to get around.
Every population's,
if that other 20% of my coworkers murdered people, we wouldn't all band around them, though, Right. We'd be like, hey,
well, the insurance, the insurance
take
industry would be a whole lot more
stapler,
interesting.
But I know. Imagine the claims. They were just
So, what'd you do this weekend, Bob? I murdered a guy. Oh, hey, that's really
good.
cool. Let's not talk about that.
We're all in the line of duty.
Don't tell management.
Let's start a GoFundMe
1 out of 88, right?
But how was your close rate last week, Bob?
Yeah.
So we're all agreeing we don't like bad cops.
Yeah.
And I think more
we
cops
love
should come out
good
calling
cops.
out the bad cops.
That's my only point.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I feel what you're getting at there because, I mean, you hardly ever see that. I mean, you have all these instances going on, but they all stay silent. And, I mean, it's obvious they're backing each other up on that, but I've only heard of one case where a woman did come forward. I think it was the one where the guy was running away from the cop in the video and he shoots him in the back, right? And he kills him or whatever. And she came forward and she voiced her opinion. I think it might have been through social media. But she lost her job.
Yeah.
Because she voiced her opinion on it. She was like, no, he was wrong for doing it.
Well, and there's been more than one case of that going on lately. There was a case here in Austin I want to say it was with Austin's Pizza, possibly. If not, I think it was Southside Pies, actually.
Yeah.
It was Southside Pies, where quite literally somebody on a police officer, because they give like a police officer discount, so a cop comes in, orders a couple pies to take back to the station, and somebody writes like "F you, pig" on the receipt.
Oh shit!
Well, they find out who it is, and they fire him. And they cause this whole hoopla, freedom of speech, and it's like, well,
but you're at work. You
you're
you
just now
fuck
defamed.
you, sound technician, and the same thing. It's like,
Well, you're representing
You want to make
the business.
something of it, bro?
Exactly.
Well, that's
When
what
you're
I'm
at
saying.
work.
That's bad customer service.
You are the face
The
of the
guy shouldn't be
business.
fired.
It's not a
Exactly.
good face,
No, it's
not a
like
good
no.
look.
People tend to misinterpret what the First
Freedom
Amendment. And
of
I got a lawyer here, and I'm
speech
talking
is,
about this,
yeah.
but it's like that means that the government can't come and throw you in jail for saying something uncomfortable. But if you are saying something uncomfortable and your employer finds out about it, your employer might say, "You are bad for business."
Right.
See,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Texas, a right to
Via
work
con
state.
Dios, have a nice day.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
forbidden.
and that's just
absolutely. Plus, usually, most businesses like cops to come in and
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, I want a couple of dudes hanging out in my restaurant with some guns for a few hours that have a badge that will scare away
And a
bad
lot of
guys.
times they won't charge them for what they get.
Yeah.
No, that's true, and I'm fine with that.
An extension of professional courtesies at that point.
Sure.
Oh, that's me.
Giving everybody the stink eye, and it's his phone.
The stinker
It wasn't ringing. I thought it was on. I thought it was on Uber silent. It was on vibrate.
Like Uber vibrate.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah.
This
Sure,
Uber
I'll have one
verb
of those.
kind of goes
So-
good for everything.
Well,
now.
and see, like
Uber this, Uber this.
even that, even Uber and Lyft coming back into town. It's one of those like, why did we reverse the decision on that?
Money.
The idea, well, yeah, I mean, absolutely, it's money in
I
the
know.
city's pocket.
The
Don't get
state
me
did
wrong.
it.
It's always
Yeah,
money,
but why?
guaranteed.
Why? Why would they not want to get the background checks of people that are driving? When it's like they've shown in other states that like Uber drivers straight up use the app to track their clientele after they were done with them, stuff like that.
Are you somehow alleging that the Texas legislature does things because they have they're good for what are good for people? I don't have no idea what you're talking about. That has nothing to do with reality, right? Seriously. Maybe Uber and Lyft might have had something to do with that.
Yeah.
Maybe the fact that that our governor has made it really clear that he hates Austin. They want to
cut down our trees.
not let you. You know what's such a big fucking pain in the ass and infringes on my freedom?
What's that?
Is that I have to bring
Tell me.
a sack to the grocery store.
Yes!
I should have the freedom to have the grocery store pay extra money to buy plastic sacks to give me free sacks.
Here's my
So I don't
problem.
have to think about taking one of the gajillion tote bags that I get for free all over the
Here's
fucking
my
place.
problem.
And 90% of the time I leave them at home
And
anyway.
the state of Texas needs to stop that. I'm actually being... The problem with irony is that a lot of people don't get
know.
it, and I'm being not serious.
Like, it's not hard to bring your
so
tote
the
bag.
governor's against that. Well, we don't want a city telling people they can't have plastic bags if they fucking want them.
Wait,
Yeah.
is that going to get reversed?
No, it already has been.
What?
Yeah.
What?
But I love my tote bags.
Oh no, you can absolutely bring your own tote bags.
You
but
can
here's
still
the thing.
do that.
Well, no,
Like,
obviously,
But the city can't
now,
tell you this.
I used to work at
people not to
Randall's
do that.
grocery
That'll
store.
cost you about
and then-
$2 extra.
I used to work at Randall's grocery store in the 90s, and they bragged about their plastic bags being made out of 90% recycled plastic. That was like UV compostable and stuff like that. That like under UV light would decompose.
So that might have been a lie.
All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It may,
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, I
That
think
is
something much
definitely
more
in a
insidious
landfill.
is, why do I have to tag my own produce?
Make sure they cannot eat
that you
apple.
use to catch
Little-
flies with.
That's not something I really believe. It's
Little
just a crazy theory.
5 minute epoxy brush.
Because
on
it's
back.
the only explanation. I'm
Yeah.
like, seriously.
Maybe it's like heat
My
activated.
mango now is
The only-
permanently stamped.
The only way to
Mango.
get past it is literally to just peel it off. That's it. Just to use the front
Vegetable
end of
peeler?
the peeler and zap just gone.
Well, I mean, I've done where I just will like stick them all in my hand or something.
Sure.
And just
Yeah, I
hand
just
them
put
all
them
the
on, like,
stickers and
one of
say,
the bags.
ring these all
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, ring them all
Yeah.
up.
I just put them all on one
Because
bag.
otherwise, I think they're paid extra to like smash them all in extra hard.
They get a tip for every complaint.
But seriously, my thing is, if we don't get plastic bags, if we don't get paper bags,
Then what?
why are my groceries not cheaper?
Yeah, exactly.
Price didn't go down.
The price didn't go down. You're obviously
Just-
saving a crap ton of because
Yeah.
I remember how many pallets of friggin' stuff we used to go
How
through
do you
on
know the
app.
price didn't go down? Are you checking it?
Right.
Maybe it did go down.
My local price didn't go down when I
you
buy the
know
same.
how much
I'm a
things
creature
cost
of
every
habit.
time?
I'm a creature of habit. I buy the same thing.
And you know how much they cost?
Well, on average, yeah, I know that my thing of stewed Mexican-style tomatoes is 88 cents.
Gun to my head, I couldn't tell
But
you
the
how much
retail
milk
price
costs,
of that doesn't
and I
have
buy it
anything
every
to do
week.
with
About
the
$2.60, $2.70 a gallon.
You should
I
have
would've
bought
said,
the
like,
can that was
$6.
just white.
$6. Damn.
I
Unrelated
don't know, I'm
note.
We are
saying,
never
I have
going
no
to Vegas
idea
together.
how much
Ever.
things cost.
Okay.
Ever, Julie.
On a related note,
And you lose a lot of
do you
money in
remember
Vegas.
when airlines raised their prices because
Yes.
the price of petroleum and gas
right,
and all
now
those different
gas
things?
is like basically
that.
free.
Gas is cheaper than milk, but did the airfare come down?
I made my
No.
stand.
No.
I made my stand because I fly all over the place. People fly me to go do AV and stuff. And for the longest time, I was like, hey, whoever you got
AV, is that a sex thing?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, yeah. It involves
Sweet.
leather,
Artificial vagination.
Chicken
cat nine tails, or whatever.
It's,
The studs and all.
I think Chris is going to pee himself now. But, you know, it was always like, whoever, you know, because I know they get points for their hotel stay and stuff like that with whoever they're flying me with. But then it was like,
Points.
wait a minute. Like, every single airline I'm flying with, I got to pay like $50 a freaking bag or $25 a bag.
That's some cheese, man.
Southwest still lets you bring 2 50-pound bags on for free.
Yeah, I was trying to fly
I am
up to
like,
Cleveland though, and
Fly me
was
Southwest.
$700.
Here is my rewards number.
$700.
Like,
To Cleveland?
like straight up.
Why do people want to go to Cleveland anyway? And then
Yeah.
$700, but American was $250. Go figure.
Yeah.
But it's American.
I know, but whatever. I figured after the ankle break last time I was there, and that it cost them $850 just to change my ticket.
It's nice of you to take it's nice of you to take the cheaper flight.
Nice, right?
Yeah.
Do they put
No, it's
foam
good
around
work.
Are they putting foam on the whole city of Cleveland for your arrival?
Right?
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I hope so. I
Just
bought
egg
these new
crate
Chuck
foam.
Taylors just to keep myself non-broken.
And the trumpet sound.
When Julie falls, all we want to hear is shit.
No, not again. Why? No, my first day out of the boot, and I was wearing really impractical footwear, so I went to Nordstrom Rack and I got these.
But it was
guys.
really cute.
Nice.
It was really cute,
Well,
but
there you
They
go.
are. They are.
at some point, when you have a broken ankle, cute doesn't cut it anymore.
That's it.
It's awful. I've spent so much time and money. I'm in a room full of guys buying shoes that I'll never wear again.
That's all right.
It's very upsetting to me.
I have shoes that I can't wear again because,
Because your toes went out
For
the
some
top?
you,
reason,
like,
no.
wore
For
'em
some
out.
reason, for some reason, I've moved them to like 4 houses and they haven't fit in years. And you know, you just move shit, you just throw it all in a box, and you're like, let's get the hell out.
This just in. Your feet get bigger.
I know.
As you get older.
Hey,
Yeah. Try breaking them, then
He's
they
got
get much
boots.
bigger.
I'm already at size 16.
Oh,
I feel for my child. Well, I
can
feel
get
for my
shafts.
child
Jack
because-
Delmas is a size 8 already.
Because he's the way I am, which is like literally like my hand. My big toe is as large as my index finger. So it's like
So as a foot thumb?
kind of
Yeah, okay.
like I could play Atari with my feet as a kid.
Well, we have in my family we call that the RL toe grab. It's
Yeah.
it's a genetic thing where everybody on my mom's side of the family can pinch things
Yeah.
between their big toe and their second toe.
Huh.
And even my daughters do it.
Whoa.
They'll lean
Yeah.
over and just kind of like sneak over on the couch and just.
Yeah,
Crazy.
just grab stuff. Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah. No, he's
That's
definitely
crazy.
he definitely got cursed with Dad's big feet. They're huge. Poor kid. But he's
Save your shoes.
Yeah.
Save your shoes.
yeah, that's it.
Well, apparently he is. I was thinking, why are you hauling all these shoes around?
Yeah, there you go. And Albus is a
And
teenager.
I don't
He'll
know.
have some
I don't
fetish.
know.
He can write a book about all
It's
these
just
damn
it's
shoes.
one of those.
I mean, there's starving kids in Africa that need shoes.
There
Do
are.
you think they have size 15
There-
and a half, 16?
They
There
could-
are starving
I'd be
minute
surprised.
bowls
They could-
somewhere in the world
Yeah.
that need
Exactly.
They can eat those
shoes.
Chris, I'm like 5 inches taller than you, and I don't even wear a size
No,
16.
my brother's 3
Dang.
inches taller than me, and he's in like a 13. It's like, great, you can go buy shoes anywhere, you ass.
I had to say that. I had to buy some shoes over the weekend and actually had to buy a 15 and something. I thought, oh my God, what the hell is happening?
Yeah, no, like even big and tall shops are like, oh,
Yeah,
Not
can't
that
help it.
we got like 28 W's for wide, but
Yeah.
sorry, you know.
Need
Even
that.
Shaquille O'Neal's shoes
22s.
do not come in larger than a size 15.
That's
And it's
crazy.
like, you have a size 22 shoe, my
Yeah.
friend. You
Yeah,
would think
22.
you would know the pain.
Hello. Market awareness.
Shaquille, if you're listening.
Yeah, Shaq.
You need to shop at the Big and Mutant store.
Yeah, this is Shaq. Welcome to Shaq Show.
Yeah. Hey, everybody.
Hey, this is Shaq.
Hey,
Welcome to
everybody.
Shaq Show. It's
got the crazy looking eye.
I got some really big feet. That's 22, but my shoes
right.
don't come bigger than 15.
My size 22 shoes take half of my Kia Sophia.
I just went. I couldn't get shoes in my size. I just wore the box.
Oh.
Shaq is my jam. I've got to say, even my band Shaq Jones.
Shaq
we talked about
is
last
your
week.
jam.
But Isaac Hunt.
Yeah,
Isaac Hunt.
I love
your
him.
jam.
He's great. He's great because he doesn't care if somebody wants him to go. Like, have you heard his album? Oh, you should check out some.
I
Oh
don't
yeah,
care. I should
No,
be your
what?
jam because I don't care.
He's got some hardcore rap out there.
Oh, well, my
I like
dad
it when
cared.
him
That
and
sounds
Charles
like
Barkley
might be
get in a fight.
hilarious.
I like those.
I like that. I like that. Charles Barkley, the Prince. Oh, the Prince.
I like when they argue and fight.
I loved it when he was with the Rockets because I got to see him regularly on the news and trying to make sense after a game. And it was like, Charles.
No, yeah.
That's Sir Charles.
No, I know.
Oh, yeah.
Sir Charles.
Sir Charles.
The
We were-
round mound of rebound.
we were very blessed in Houston for a while with the talent that we had. But yeah, I don't know. I don't watch much sporting.
Okay, when I was a kid, because
Yeah.
of connections, I was what was called a ball boy for the basketball team, which are the guys that sit under the
Yep.
basket and catch balls or run off and
Yeah.
throw them to them when they're
Not the ones that
shooting.
cup them.
No, exactly.
Just checking.
And I was trying to make it
Oh,
very
him a big
clear.
right there.
we left that part of the conversation
I
behind.
would bring
Jeff.
them towels and water and that kind of thing, and there was and Akeem jumps up and
It just
knocks it
swats
down.
the ball down.
So we get 2 points because it's a goaltending. It was an obvious goaltending.
Yeah.
They get the ball again. Houston gets it. I don't remember what happened on this. They weren't scoring. We were playing pretty good defense, and we get the ball back. Shoot it again. Akeem knocks it down, and at this point we get 2 more points. So it's 4-2 at this point. Then it becomes 6-2. We're winning because of another Akeem goaltending.
Well,
and
he
people
had
start
just-
laughing.
he
But
was-
then the fourth one, people kind of quit laughing because they're thinking, man, at some point this guy's going to figure out how to play. So we were winning 8-2, and the ball had never touched the net. We were getting points because Akeem he had been a goalie in Africa.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah,
just
he
thought
had
he was
been a-
supposed
he
to
had been a goalie
keep
in
the ball
soccer.
out of there.
Yeah.
And he kept it out. And then after a while, Guy Lewis, I think, explained to him what goaltending
Yeah.
was, and that it wasn't really funny anymore. So it was like,
Yeah.
oh, wow, we got 8 free points.
Yeah.
And now that's kind of scary
Hey,
because are we ever going to get it in the bucket ever again?
And you said by Slam and Jammer,
Dude.
man, that was
That's a
Clyde
liability.
Clyde Drexler.
You know, that was, and that's exactly who took the Rockets to the playoffs, and you know, the only actually winning Houston team ever. They were even in
But that
the
was my
Olympic
first-
team, the Dream Team.
People were laughing him out of the stadium for
Oh,
the
yeah.
first 3 goaltending.
Well, he
and
had
on the
come
4th
from
one, people
straight
got
up-
real quiet. We're like, ooh.
Kind of like
They
Shaq.
teach
He
him
came
the
Kind of like
rules.
straight
Shaq
from
shooting
Africa.
free throws.
Yeah.
Like
Shaq. Yeah.
How many oval rims are there when Shaq played where he just clanged
Yeah.
them right off the front of the rim every time?
Yeah, boom.
This thing called an arc.
Yeah.
There's a thing called an
I
R.
got no time for that.
Yeah.
Parabola.
Yeah.
I bet it felt like a golf ball in his hand, you know. It's like-
Right?
Well, I had a friend that met him. In Los Angeles said shaking his hand was like shaking a bunch of bananas. I mean, it was
Just
crazy
massive.
because it's just no matter how big you were, it just dwarfed. It was like a catcher's mitt. My name's Shaq. Nice to meet you.
Hey. Yeah.
Don't break my hand.
Hello, children.
I'm a very large black man.
I'm gonna get your
Yeah.
hand.
Shaq is awesome. I love Shaq. He does some great things. He will shamelessly self-promote himself in anything,
Well, that's a good
which
thing.
is why I love Shaq.
Yep. Yeah, he
Like
does
even
that.
Toys R Us, there was a great poster of him.
Oh, yeah?
Me and my partner from
Riding Jeffery,
Shaq Jones,
the giraffe.
still to this day send each other pictures of Shaq products. You know, like whenever we're walking around, and
Icy Hot?
we find it's not just like Icy Hot displays. Like I've found like hair coloration displays and stuff, and it's like
Hair
you
coloration?
He
have
has no hair.
no hair.
How do you
I'm
do
sorry.
I used to have a slot machine game
I've
on my
become
cell phone.
absolutely
It was
astonished
Shaquille
at the turn
O'Neal.
this conversation
And every
has
time
taken.
that like
Yeah,
he
yeah.
won,
Yeah.
he did a little dance.
We've gone from priests to diddle kids and cops who shoot people to Shaq.
Shaq and Icy Hot.
Well,
Yeah.
Shaq brings everybody together.
That's it.
Shaq is a
That's it.
unifying force in the universe.
One of my favorite
It's
things
the wingspan.
Yeah.
that happened this last
like a
year.
big guy.
Speaking of Shaq, because there was a movie
I don't like
called
sports really, except for the Patriots.
Kazam.
Oh yeah, the worst
The
one.
Shaq was
Shit.
in, yeah. Right.
Yeah, and supposedly,
You're
there
going to
was-
talk about the Mandela effect again, aren't you?
well, there are a bunch
know,
of
right?
people
Yes.
that think that
That's right.
there was a movie that
Sinbad was in this
Sinbad was in.
And when the first time I heard somebody say that, I thought, oh, I remember that too. But it's just as soon as somebody says it, you remember it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they go, no, it was really this Kazam with Shaq. And it's like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
does seem
But
like
I swear to
Sinbad
God, I
should
remember
bring
that
that
too.
movie.
It was hilarious though because this last year for
I do got that Mandela effect on that one.
Yeah.
I kind of remember it.
This last year for April Fool's Day, Sinbad actually went through and created a scene from that movie. And that was the headline everywhere. It was like,
I'll pop a
like
top to that.
Sinbad wins April Fool's Day. You know, like all these people, it's been this raging theory across the internet.
Shazam!
Everybody remembered a movie that never
Yeah,
existed.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Universally. Well,
Yeah.
Or line. It was always a thing about a movie. Or like, this line is the most popular line ever. It's like, well, so what you're telling me is that people misunderstood a line?
Or some people tell me the shirt that I got on. They say that's the wrong way of Fruit Loops.
That's
Like
the
it
wrong way of
wasn't.
spelling it.
They said it wasn't spelled like that.
I had to get
No,
on
always
somebody
was
the other
spelled
day
that
because
way. I remember that.
we were thrust parrying and stuff, and he was like, "Okay, just drink the Kool-Aid," and I was like, "All right, I'll drink whatever you want as long as it's actually spelled by the brand name." Like you've Googled many other things here, but you could not Google the actual spelling of Kool-Aid, and I have a problem with that.
I got a friend. I've got a friend
How did they
that
spell
proved a pretty good little point.
Or COOL.
The Mandela
space
effect.
AID.
The Bernstein Bears. Have
It's
you
a
ever
K
looked at
with
one
a
of that?
hyphen.
You ever looked at-
Berenstain.
Yeah, the Bernstein and all
Yeah.
that. Whatever.
All
I
these
loved
things
the
are just
Bernstein
people
Bears when I was
misremembering spellings
Yeah.
and crap. I'm like, how are these like
And
really-
somebody
Well-
took a photo from like Half Price Books or something and had two different the bear thing and it was spelled differently. Who knows if it was
Is
a
it not the
hoax?
It was a
Bernstein
knockoff.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah. It was a knockoff, exactly. Yeah.
Dude, it's a misprint.
Yeah.
It's a misprint. It happens all the time. It happens with money, where one side of the bill is printed upside down from the other, or one
That
side
happens
of
all
a
the
coin
time.
is a struck
Stamps.
from the other side of the other.
I smell
Yeah.
something fishy
No, I
about
just
that.
watched
if it happens
Brewster's
all the time.
Millions. I just watched Brewster's Millions, and that's one of my favorite scenes ever. Is where he goes
Something's
out
up.
and buys the stamp for $1.5 million because it was accidentally printed upside down, and the only one of that run.
The inverted.
And then he mails it. So it's like he didn't devalue it. He actually used it for its value as a stamp. That's brilliant.
He could
The
have.
inverted Jenny.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
the
Yes.
stamp.
And it. All right.
You can't live
You
on
in-
$1 million.
Doesn't matter. You inherit
Then
$1
you
million
could.
bucks. You inherit $1 million, and I
80s?
challenge you right now. Even if I had $1 million, I could pay my way out of debt and be all right. I wouldn't be able to live for the rest of my life, but I'd be out of debt.
I could buy a whole bunch of blow.
My life would be better.
There you go.
This is Julie Connally speaking.
You and I are going to speak off mic, Jeff.
You double that. You double your thing there.
Double your pleasure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Double man.
but literally the concept was, okay, you have a $300 million inheritance. I'm going to make you so sick of money that you're never going to want to spend money again. Here's the deal. You have 30 days in which to spend $30 million. You have to spend it. $1 million a day. You can't just go out and buy the Hope Diamond for some floozy. Like he said,
why not?
You can't do that.
That's no floozy. That's my wife.
You can't do that. You're only allowed to give 30% to charity.
There's a lot of rules on this.
And
Totally
and at the end of it, you can hold no assets.
Right.
You can hold no assets.
Hold no
Parties
assets.
and taking all your friends on vacation.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Why can't you do that?
Vacation.
Take
Exactly.
everybody you know on vacation every single day.
Can you?
Why couldn't you do that? Rent George Clooney's yacht.
Yeah, and give the
Go
whole
hang out
world
at
a Coca-Cola.
Islands.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I mean,
I'm with you.
rent Bill Gates' house from him for a weekend party.
Yeah.
How much would it cost you, Bill Gates? How much would you charge me
just
to rent your place?
Because
I can do
ideally it
it.
would be
I
$3
very
million.
easily could do it.
Oh yeah, no.
I want to hear music
and
under
do
the
it
water.
in a fun way, and do it in a way that I would not get sick of spending it,
Well.
or
and
feel attached to it.
the idea was to give him responsibility and to give him control.
Well, that would not
and
do
to, and to
No,
temper
that
him.
would not work
That's
for me.
ridiculous.
I would
And
go
to temper
crazy.
him. Because
I get it.
Yeah, but see the thing is you can't go even his clothes, he was brilliant. He had some badass suits, but he rented all of his clothes.
Why not?
You
Rent
know.
a car every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's what he did. He
Rent
was
a helicopter all day
Because
long
he couldn't
everywhere
end
you
up with
go.
anything. He just
Yeah.
had to blow it.
he literally at the end of it,
Everything's
That'd
gotta be
so
rented.
fun
at the end of it, he had to show up with the clothes on his back, nothing else.
to get the rest of the 300
To get the rest of the
million. I
300
know.
million.
Every day I'd be like, hey, which one of my
It'd
friends
definitely
wants to
be
go to
fun
Maui?
doing it.
And have accounting for all of it. Have
Sure.
accounting for all
Well,
of it.
can part of the money be going to an accountant that I pay?
Sure.
There you go.
They
I'll give
have
my
flowers
$500,000
every day.
a day
I do
to
not
my
go
accountant.
That
Hey,
is
you wanna be
where
my accountant
I
for
do not walk
$500,000
into
a day?
a room unless there are 500 dozen roses in it for a month. That could be a rule. So, like, everywhere I go,
Oh, God, it would
there are
smell so
flowers
terrible.
on my. I mean,
Yeah, because they're
Yeah.
going to
I'm
die and
spending
you're
the
not going to
money,
keep them.
Yeah.
and I'm not going to get sick of it because who cares? I don't
Well,
need
and that's
that.
what he did.
You know.
Like crazy
That's what I
expensive
would do.
alcohol and then just
Yeah.
drink it.
Yep. No, that's what he
I mean,
did.
could you
He-
spend it on blow? Could you spend it on drugs?
You could spend it on parties. You could do stuff like that. He did do things like
If
go
one
out
of us gets
and
this
buy
deal,
like
Take
We're
the
gonna have so
entire
much fun.
Super Bowl champion football team on
Yeah.
a vacation and buy them all hookers.
Yeah, and blow. And blow.
Yay, Patriots.
I mean, we're going through money really fast here.
I think it was you
Yeah.
couldn't do
Like, I
anything
think we've
illegal,
actually
you
run
know,
out of
stuff
money.
like
That night right
Whoa,
there would be
whoa,
a
whoa, whoa!
million.
Nothing illegal. I mean,
Nothing else.
Nothing's illegal if you have $1 million a day to spend.
Like everything we just said. No, nothing else.
Remember
true.
how well they did do it, so I guess they can do it.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, if you throw that clause in,
But yeah, there are some there's some wild movie premises out there like that in the 80s. It was pretty interesting. I enjoy watching movies like that. I love Brewster's Millions. It's a hoot of a
Do
movie.
you like Mannequin?
Mannequin?
You like
I
Mannequin?
did like Mannequin when it came out.
Mannequin.
I did, but I was also a Xanadu fan.
Oh,
Xanadu is
Xanadu.
not bad. Did you see Ishtar, which I think is one of the all-time most underrated? Elaine
Yeah.
May wrote and directed it. It's
Years and years ago.
It's historically considered one of the biggest movie flops ever because
that
they
was
spent
Dustin
tons of
Hoffman
and Warren Beatty.
Warren Beatty.
And it's absolutely hilarious, but it's not the kind of humor. It's kind of like Arrested Development, that kind of
Yeah.
humor.
Oh, I
You
love
think it's
that.
hilarious, but most people aren't really going to get it.
You thought
Yeah.
you were getting,
like that.
Bob Hope, one of those road
Oh,
movies.
my gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
You were getting
Yeah.
Arrested.
I mean, it was
Development.
a CIA, story.
Yeah, it's kind of like Man with One Red Shoe type.
It was really ridiculous. They were songwriters, and they fall in with the CIA and end up in the Middle East, and it's absurd. But it was a big flop.
Yeah,
but it's hilarious.
I
recommend it to everybody.
I'll check it out.
It's hard to find, even. It's really even hard to find.
Amazon?
Harder to find than that Sinbad movie?
This movie, I think, actually existed. Where are those Lone Stars? Where are the Lone Stars coming from?
See?
Is that the last one?
You want it?
I do want it.
Yes, he's gonna take your last beer like Dick.
I'll take his mosaic.
I'd rather have the Lone Star.
Nice.
You want one of these?
I'll try one.
Oh, what is that? Is that the blood orange?
I was watching.
Definitely new, and they had to fill up 2 hours, so they talked a lot more than most bands would, which I think was just charming and wonderful. But the songs that they played, they did a couple covers. I cannot remember what they were, but they were awesome. And then a bunch of original stuff. I mean, they put on a solid show for 2 full hours. It was great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yep, it was awesome. It was definitely worth
I would have
going
been
out.
there, but I had
Charlie
that
was there.
damn flat tire.
Oh,
Yeah.
Did you get that fixed?
Yeah, I got all 4
did.
new ones.
Oh, no, they talked you into it, huh?
See, you walk in with one little problem, and you walk out with all this crap.
Let me tell you, you got a bad tire there. I think your best bet is to replace all 4.
I think we're just better sell you a
Exactly.
new car.
Really, your best bet is to replace that one and the one matching.
Right. And that was the situation. First recommendation by him, I guess. And but that alone was going to cost what I've spent getting the 4, because I went home. I did not get it that day. I went home, complained to the manager because the guy didn't take the tire off to find out where the leak was at, because automatically he was like, no, it's unfixable. It's like, how did you know that without even checking it out? You know, like, how do you know it's on the wall or anything or anywhere?
Well,
we didn't find the leak at all.
Well, I can tell you right now, as a tire tech, the way you can tell is if it's not in the tread, it's unfixable.
Right.
But if you don't look to see
But
what's
if
in
you
the tread.
Did he put it through a tank of water?
No, that's what I'm saying.
No.
Yeah, he didn't even pull it in or nothing. He just visually nah, I don't see nothing.
Well, okay. And I'll give you that, even as a tire tech.
And I
there's
thought,
nothing in the treads.
I thought he didn't do his job well enough, and that I wasn't priority, and my needs weren't being
so
met.
basically,
and
what you're
his
saying is
intent
that
was
you
to make money.
So that you wanted
well,
to
you
go.
have a really nice truck. He
Yeah.
probably saw it and was like, "Yeah, I could get some money from
So
this guy."
it was going to be $120 a tire, and I spent $230 getting all 4 new ones. Pretty much that came off of a Jeep.
Oh, nice.
So, but that was after me complaining and got the price knocked way down. Got the balance and rotation price, which was like 64 or more, knocked off too, because it was 3
Where'd you
days
end up
later.
going?
I went back. Discount.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But the guy was just trying to make money off me, I felt like, and if he wasn't going to take the tire off to find the leak first, it's like, and he was more interested in selling the tires, you know what I mean?
Tires.
Like, oh, you need this one, like, let's go ahead. Oh, your 2 back ones, like, fuck that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like your intent and it's not about making me happy, it's about you and your money.
And see, that's the thing in sales.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to make people
That's
happy.
the thing in sales.
Yeah.
You got to do more listening. You just can't
That's it.
show up and throw up. You have to
Yeah.
listen to what the customer needs, how you're going to help him get there.
Well, and you work sales in a way,
Oh,
Jeff.
yeah, very consultative.
Yeah, and much more of a.
In a way.
Well,
Does this have something to do with this cocaine buying? That
You're not walking into a storefront
In a
going,
way.
hey, I'd like to buy some security software.
Yeah.
I'm your guy.
yeah, exactly.
$500 it is.
You
Yeah.
want to get down on
This
the ground.
cocaine thing was just bullshit.
He has no cocaine.
Once again, my name is Julie Connally.
Ooh, you sound sexy, Julie.
I have a federally protected job. I have nothing to do with cocaine.
That's right.
I don't even like cocaine.
That's right.
It's like,
He's the one who brought
I've
it
never
up.
even seen it.
The guy who
I've
does
never
no,
even
the guy who does
seen
no
it. Oh my
stimulants at all.
god. Now that's a lie.
But even doing what you do, with security and everything else, there's an amount of sales that goes. I think that really, when it comes down to it, we're all kind of in that Chris Rock sense, at least for the first 6 months, dealing with the salesman. You know, with he had that concept with the relationship with you're dealing with a representative for the first 6 months. You're not dealing with the actual person. You're dealing with the front of who they want you to think they are. You know, like you haven't gotten to the point where like you're going to be spending like, you know, a week at each other's house, stuff like that. It's 6 months. Typically.
6 months dating, right?
Yeah. And I think that all too often in society we have gotten to the point where we give somebody our representative.
You're still filling them out, man. You know?
Well, yeah, but at the same time, why? Why do you need to feel somebody out? Like, I don't know if you need to feel anybody out.
Right, like, do I want what they're buying? Yes, I'm going to buy it. Or
yeah,
something.
like, yeah, exactly.
You don't need to wine and dine me.
But
Just
it's not,
show me your
it's not
shit.
toothpaste. You know, many times
security is for sure a lot more nuanced.
more complex.
For sure.
And you want somebody who's a trusted advisor, someone you feel like who may know what they're talking about, or at least be able to create that illusion.
Right, that's like insurance.
So it is
Allegedly.
very involved. I mean, I do have customers that are friends, but for the most part, they come to me with a problem, and we talk through what the problem is. Where do they want to be? What do they want? What are the impediments to that, and how we can get them to where they want to be?
Yeah.
You know, they want to protect the information of whatever their constituents are, and we help them do that.
Yeah.
I'm concerned for the consumers of this show because I feel like it's just getting very randomly. We're talking about tires and crap. Okay, let's talk about something with a little bit more meat. And I'm just going to propose a new thing.
Go for it. Would you talk? Would you like
here's
to
the
talk
question
about the
for the
history of
panel.
Chick-fil-A?
Here's the question.
Okay.
No.
What's the question?
Just to start some
Do
more
it.
conversation.
Do it.
Julie, what book are you reading right now?
Oh my goodness! I just
What book are you reading right now?
Water for Elephants. And
Water
it was
for
so
Elephants.
Good.
And that's a novel that was
I
made into
worked
a
with
movie,
that author.
correct?
I don't know about the movie, but it's a novel. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. And,
Yeah.
It is.
How do you feel good about it? Or
I feel so good about it. It's embarrassing. I can't remember what I was reading first, but it was like a teen drama or something. No, it wasn't. It was political. I feel much better about it. But it was after I finished reading it, and I can't remember what it was. It said if you liked this, then it gave me like a list of things on Amazon that these were things that you would like to read, and Water for Elephants was one of them. And I was flying to Cleveland to break my ankle, and so I downloaded it, and holy fuck, I couldn't put it down. It was so good. It was like super poignant. It was also like topical. It was really good.
who is the author, and briefly, what is the elevator pitch on?
So, elevator pitch, it's about this old man who is living in a nursing home, and he is like right at the end of it, and he's worried that he's losing his mind, but he's remembering all of this time when he worked for a super corrupt circus. Basically, he was about to graduate from dental school, and his whole family got killed. And he realized that they hadn't paid his tuition. They didn't have a penny to their name. So he couldn't finish his medical exam because he couldn't pay for it. And so he ran off and he joined the circus because a train was coming by. And then he kind of, like, fixed the circus. Like, he took care of a lot of the bad stuff that was happening there. There was, like, a lot of insider trading kind of bad stuff going on, and abuse and people getting thrown off the rail yards. And
Well,
I don't know if I'm
my
explaining
elevator
it
stop is
very
here,
well,
so
but-
I have to get off now.
Elevator pitches a minute.
That was good.
That was good. That was good.
Chris, are you reading anything right now?
You know, I have always been much more of a nonfiction reader. I was a big reader of encyclopedias. Short processing of dense information is what I enjoyed. I was never really a huge novel reader.
Well, I didn't ask
Myself,
about novels. I just asked if you were
but
reading
something
a book.
that I reread recently because of a conversation with Stone Winchester, sorry about that, was Illusions by Richard Bach. And the subtitle is The Story of a Reluctant Messiah. And it's basically about this. If you've Richard Bach is very much along the lines of like Zen and the art of motorcycle maintenance. He wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull.
Okay.
You know, a lot of self-discovery, a lot of self-spirituality type stuff.
Self-love.
And and really fully understanding yourself
AV,
as
right?
as indeed. So for me, it's one that I maintain a hardback copy of it, but I actively.
This is something you've come back to that you.
I read it once a year.
Oh, very good.
I read
like
it once
that.
a year, and you know, and it's because it's one of those that like, it's like 180 pages, and it's big type. Like I remember reading it in like 3 hours or something like that. Like it was like, you know, just so quick. But the idea behind it and the concepts behind it, and the realization of your own manifestation of things in the world around you, and your own impact in the direct world around you, things like that. And so, Illusions by Richard Bach was something that I reread recently and gave it to my friend the other day. I always maintain a copy. I need to go out and buy a new one now, but I always maintain a copy to be able to give to somebody.
I like that. For a while, I had this thing that I would do where I would put little notes in books and leave them in random places and say like, you know, this is like guerrilla book giving. Like, here's a book that I like. You read this, and I dare you to give it away. Like, I would just leave them at the gas station or the bus stop or something.
Okay.
You know? Just try that as an experiment. A book that you like, and just leave it with a note on it, like, free book. Please take this and read it.
Yes.
Horrifying Polaroids inside. No, I'm just
So, are you reading anything interesting right now? I hate to take this over, but now I have one interesting.
I'm reading a book called Spellbound. It is the second in a trilogy by Larry Correa. And Larry Correa is an interesting author. He writes a series called Monster Hunter International.
Yeah.
And he has another series called the Grim Noir series, and this is the second book. And it is an alternate reality set in the early 20th century where average people around the world actually have magic at a certain level. So certain people can do certain things. So movers...
Alvin Maker books were like that, too.
I'm not familiar with those.
Who wrote Alvin Maker?
Are we talking about things... I know that there was a show on... Oh, my God.
Alvin Maker was a character, but they all had knacks. Everybody has a knack. They're all able to do something.
So
like,
somebody
cool.
is what they colloquially call a mover. They are telekinetic, and there are people that might be
kind of like an X-Men type.
They might be able to read your mind, or they might be able to.
Like the non-magic person or the anti-magic person. Like this is so familiar to me. I think I've read the first one.
It's a really there's the second one is Spellbound, third one is Warbound, the first one is Hard Magic, and it's really interesting because it takes the events.
I'm thinking of Dr. Norrell and.
Well, it's like World War One.
Yeah,
it's an alternative take on World War One. And the different powers trying to come up or trying to find these people that are actives that can actively tap into the various magic, and some people can control electricity, and some people can control fire, as in quelling fire or making fire go. So it's just it's an alternate reality thing. Larry Correa, I love his work. His Monster Hunter International.
That's what I'm going to recommend. Orson Scott Card.
Okay, I'll check that out.
Seventh Son is the first one. And that's the whole deal. Is he's a seventh son of a seventh son.
I was going to say, that's like an Iron Maiden album.
And his oldest brother dies as they're crossing the Wabash River. Not the Wabash River, but the Wabash. It's all like right at the early American time. Same thing. And he's a seventh, and he has another little brother who, because their older brother died, is also a seventh son.
Oh, very good.
But but he's a little brother, and so he's always like,
not quite there.
Yeah.
But Alvin Maker, they all have knacks, and Alvin Maker is the only maker, and a maker can kind of do anything.
It's like Tinkerbell.
Yeah.
Maker can make anything happen. But there are
true.
people who can put things together.
Yeah.
Right.
Or they can have a knack of charm.
Yeah.
Where they can
different charisma.
Similar thing in this series is you have
Talents.
people that have active magic, but then you have other people that are termed cogs
Well-
that have certain capabilities. So John Moses Browning is one of the characters, and his gift is manufacturing or designing and creating firearms.
Oh, wow.
And Nikola Tesla is another cog that's recognized in this for having his gift. So
Nice.
they just kind of it loops in
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of these
Historical
geniuses,
actual people.
these historical
Well, this one does
geniuses
too.
in
Like
the group.
William Henry Harrison is one of them. Like Tippecanoe and Tyler too. And the Curse of Tecumseh. Tecumseh is a major character in this. And one of the things is that the Indians, the Native Americans in these Alvin Maker books, which Alvin gets this ability, is they can see the green world, where they can like move through nature. Like they can.
To go to a different dimension, kind of that was within our dimension.
Yeah, like the forest, like where you're one with the forest.
Now,
you can glide through it effortlessly. And
Have any of you guys ever read any Terry Brooks?
No.
Because I was more than impressed with they did the Chronicles of Shun-Ra on MTV, no less. It was an MTV series, and I was like, this is going to be horrifying. They've actually done a great job. I know. Things get inspired when I start talking, Chris. I get a little deep with it sometimes.
Did you hear the music?
Handmaid's Tale was the book that I was reading that recommended me Water for Elephants.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Eat,
anyway,
pray,
I tried to
love.
bring it up to more of a literary thing. Oh,
That was still literary. It's a book.
no,
Literally a
No,
book.
it is.
Oh, that was funny.
Thanks.
But
I'll be here
Yeah.
for some amount of time.
And I don't know. I was always one of those. I nonfiction never really like grabbed me. It would have to be something really special. And there are some books that, like I said, Illusions, I will reread every year because it's something that it's short enough. I can read it in an hour or three, depending on how fast I'm wanting to pour through it. And it's always something different that I pull out of it. But most of the time I read like nonfiction. I'm reading something like I thoroughly enjoyed reading philosophy and theology.
Oh yeah, I like philosophy. I always have Plato's Republic on whatever desk I'm in.
Because to me it reads like an instruction manual.
I do.
Yeah.
I've read all of Plato's works, but you are particularly fond of the Republic, and you keep it on a desk where you work. Is that what you're
Republic
Yes.
was a big part of University of Dallas.
It was, and then also recently, and
So that
my
was part of the
brain,
core curriculum.
Well, I was
yeah.
a philosophy major.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to read a lot of.
yeah.
And with UD liberal arts, it was very specifically Western.
Mind if I get one of
You
those
never read
bread
any
ones?
kerchief?
I'd love to try it.
We were talking about kerchief earlier.
No, I
Yeah.
don't think so. I did my thesis on Foucault. I read a lot of.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
I know.
A lot better now.
That's great.
But I love the Republic. And then my sister recommended a book that I cannot remember the name of right now. Something City. But basically, the premise of it was that some people who had the ability to time travel wanted
City.
to create a world based on Just City. It was called Just City. Based on the Republic, they were able to get Plato there, and he was appalled.
Yeah, that would kind of be horrible. Yeah, it actually would be.
In
sort of
reality,
awful.
like it was just it went really, really wrong. But it was a very cool book too. It was a little bit like it fed it to you. It was like it was easy. But if you want like a super dumbed down version of the Republic, go for it.
Now, what
the
interesting?
Republic really would be horrible.
Oh, really?
And people,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't work. People would not. Human beings would not be able to exist in Plato's Republic.
No, it was,
They would
and
totally
that was
rebel.
one good thing about
Yeah.
the Just City is that it really breaks down like every
Yeah.
glaring problem with it, which obviously it has glaring problems. But.
Well, I mean, it's really more an explanation of humanity in and of itself. than it is an explanation of how to live.
Well, and I don't think that Plato necessarily thought that it
philosophic
was
doctrine.
like Bible of how people actually should
Yeah.
live. I think it was just a method of discourse that
Yes,
got people
exactly.
thinking about like,
Yeah, the concept
well,
of the
what
cave.
if, and then take whatever crazy
Yeah.
thought you have to its conclusion, and that's what you've got.
Which is
so-
the fundamental value of Plato right there.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
That's what's valuable about it.
Exactly.
Plato was
Exactly.
a shit.
Well, it's,
The thing is, he didn't offer any answers whatsoever. I mean, he only
just asked a lot of really good questions.
That's all he
Yeah.
That's
Well,
all he, which, to be honest, is really the whole point. I mean, the point
Exactly.
is not, no, you never,
Good question.
you don't know the answers.
when
Right.
you have
You
it,
never,
here's
ever
the
know
problem.
the answers.
Here's
You
the
just
problem.
have to find
When
the
you
right
have
question.
when you have the answer, Chris, it's over.
Oh yeah, you're wrong. You're guaranteed if you're
It's
wrong.
done.
Yeah, yeah.
Either number one, the paradigm you know it
Right.
ends,
Gonna ship.
or like it's over.
You keep
like
hanging.
you have come to full understanding of the universe, and now it's over for you. Like that's how it
You
works.
think shoes are the
What-
most important, and then you
you
break
know?
your ankle and you can't wear heels anymore.
We're talking
Hashtag
about
game changer.
We were talking about Gottlieb earlier, and one of the things he pointed out was the idea that humans' idea of heaven is a real place, but it's just where people who have gotten super, super, super smart and way smarter
Well-
than they should be end up because it's kind of this
Right.
hellish thing where you have to just sit there and be peaceful a lot.
Well, let's see.
And it's like and it's
Nobody's
really
scared of
it's
it.
really like the
Actually,
it's
it's
kind
damn
of an
boring.
actually an example of hell.
Well,
Like
then-
they get their own planet,
And we
They're
can
in
we can
charge
get
of
into this.
everything.
We can get into
But
this.
that's
because
actually you're
gotta
kind
be
of
chilled
doomed
out.
to that because
I recently did
you
an
just have to be
episode.
like super happy all the time.
while
Yeah, that gets
while I was in
exhausting.
Indianapolis,
Which
I
isn't
did an
really-
episode of the Blah Blah Show with John
That doesn't sound
Down.
reality.
That was about angels and demons and ancient technology and
Speaking
things
of
like
terrible
that.
looks.
You know, and I don't know. It's one of those that where do you draw the line? At one point, it's
What
interesting
lines?
to me. Well, it's
On what?
interesting to
On
me
what?
that, like, for instance, black mirrors are used to scry you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I literally have no TV in my bedroom. I haven't had a TV in my bedroom in probably a decade.
I don't have a TV in my bedroom.
Yeah.
I do.
And being slaves to the technology that we are a part of. I mean, to the point
Oh,
of
for sure. I've got my
Phantom
phone right
Range.
here.
Yeah, we all have our phones here. I mean, mine was ringing a while ago.
I say it's
But-
for work, but
At the same time,
Can y'all live without them? I was thinking today that I'm maybe Generation X, which I am, might be the last generation
Same
to
here.
remember analog. I mean,
Yeah.
we might.
Right, I remember analog.
I mean, or just
I had
like
$300
thinking, well, I mean, you
How
call
many-
somebody when you get back to your house.
well, not just that.
and then you-
Sincerely, Chris, think about
you
it.
answer-
You gotta
just answer
wait
the
for it to
phone.
go like
Chris,
that.
Or
you
you'd
don't
write
know
a
who
note.
it is
Hold
that's
on,
calling.
because I want to point something out. You have a law degree on
It was the
fingers.
very first year
I don't-
there was Nexus
I don't.
Lexus.
I don't
too.
even want you to go with.
Oh, man.
I don't even want you to go
Wasn't there
with thumbs.
Primeco around or something?
I don't even want you to go with thumbs on fingers alone. How many phone numbers do you remember off the top of your head?
Well, see, that's the thing.
Oh, I remember most of. I can tell you numbers from most of the people I grew up with, and most of the people that I know, probably.
Great.
But you don't have to very much. I mean,
Yeah, most
I
people
know what
don't
you're saying.
anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
I
if
probably
you were to
know,
get
like,
arrested,
20.
I can remember the phone numbers that I had, that my parents
Growing up.
had
And
when I
most
was
people
6
probably
years
Same
old.
here.
Right.
I
Same
mean,
here.
But I cannot remember
Right
my
now.
daughter's phone numbers.
Now.
off
Yeah,
of
I
her
don't
cell
know
phones.
Liam's
because you
phone
don't
number.
really have to use it.
823 RME was the first license
But you
plate
don't have
for the
to
first
use
car
it.
I ever owned.
It's because you don't. With most
Wow.
of the time with phone numbers now, you don't have to use it. You just put it in your phone
even
and
know.
you hit.
My
Yeah,
license
you
plate
can
now
take
is
the
like
name.
And we used to. Do you remember?
But if you
ex-
had to
remember.
remember it, you would remember it. I
Yeah,
mean,
do you
well-
remember exchanges when?
Yeah.
When you had an exchange, so
You don't.
It was
You're not that
Exbrook.
old. No,
in,
you're
in
not
Southern
that
California, it was Exbrook, which is
No.
39.
You're not that old.
Oh yeah.
How old are you? There's
I'm
no way you're that.
56.
You maybe are that old.
He is well pickled, my friend.
I survived the 80s.
Well, I'm
My fingers marked
51,
and-
but I think if you're
survived the 80s too.
56, you do
Yeah.
remember that
Yeah.
because Yeah, that's interesting.
I thought it would be great to make my daughter's
'Cause that was right at
experience
the
an
end.
analog weekend.
It was
where
like
we put a
Butterfield.
phone in the kitchen with a 30-foot long cord.
Nice.
30? 30? You're being like you're going to
Only because
89.
it's all wrapped
Yeah.
around.
You're
You can
going
only
to
pull it
80.
out
Go
of
to
the
Radio
cord
Shack
anyway.
and buy it so you can
Yeah.
go sit in the closet in your parents'
And I will
Yeah,
sit there
I
for
know.
a time
Yeah.
beforehand and twist that
I'm going to
thing
buy
up.
the 30-foot cord.
Give him
so I can sit in the closet.
give him a 3-foot cord, dude.
No,
like
mine
you're
was
tethered.
long.
You could like sit down in the corner next to the phone.
And how
and
about when
could
you want
talk.
to change the channel to one of 11 channels?
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Get
the
up and click
UFH
it.
or whatever
2, 4,
thing it was
5,
called.
7, 9, 11, 13. Oh, yeah, it's not even
Yeah.
that many. It's 8
Yeah.
plus 1 UHF channel.
UHF,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
And that was
Yeah.
the Korean
Oh.
channel. It's like
I was gonna say, where did you live that you had that many? We
Southern
had 4.
California.
We had ABC, NBC, CBS, and
And
PBS.
all the independents. There were like...
I remember
But we were
when
one
Fox
of the first
became
people to
an
get
option.
cable.
I
that we
remember when
knew.
Fox became an option.
Oh well, I do too.
There was
That
no
way
Fox.
late.
No,
Yeah.
I remember the first cable company was
Yeah, UPN,
on TV.
and then WB.
And on was
It was
WGN.
about this big, and it was on.
Yeah.
And that was
There was
I-
WGN. There was some super stations that would broadcast
Yeah.
away. Because
Yeah.
when my dad
USA
got cable
up all
when
night.
I was a real little kid,
Up all night.
because he didn't
Remember
like the
USA, yeah.
antenna. They
Yeah.
explained, well, this way you don't have to have an antenna. And we got a Dallas channel. We got WGN.
You got 3 versions of WTN.
And we got the one in
the
Chicago.
religious channel out of Dallas.
Yes, always.
So on the Dallas channel, we got the Three Stooges, the Little Rascals, the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I loved the Dick
Watched
Van
all
Dyke
those
show.
Saturday was
Good.
Lucha Libre. We had Mexican wrestling on one of the UHF channels.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's California.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Mil Mascaras. They had a
They had, like, a lot of
million
sports.
masks.
We had televangelists.
Oh,
and all
thousand
that. We
anyway.
did.
Hell
Yeah.
Oh, Boston, it was just all sports
Ernest,
and news.
Ernest Angley. Remember Reverend Ernest Angley?
We had a lot of local people in West Texas and Oklahoma that we didn't. Like prophecy in the news kind of things, where they would say, "What about the date 1988 for Jesus coming back?" Things like, like they were always predicting
They just
like
throw
the
some
date
wild
that
shit
Jesus.
out there.
And I watched those shows religiously, not because I believed in it, because I just thought they were fascinating.
Yeah.
They didn't watch it
was-
religiously. That's pretty funny.
Well, I watched them religiously, in that I thought that
Sounds
they
like
were
the History
great
Channel now.
entertainment. Like I was
Yeah.
like, these guys have got some serious.
They got something going
and the
for
hair. The hair.
them. Yeah.
There's something about it. This, my father grew up in Tulsa, next door to the Oral Roberts family.
Wow.
They were my dad's
Damn.
next door neighbors, so our whole family has a lot of experience with knowing televangelists from the outside.
Yeah, from the outside.
Was that a recognition thing where they say that Jews don't recognize Jesus as the Messiah and Episcopalians don't recognize the Pope as God's avatar on
The
earth?
Baptists
and
don't recognize
Baptists
each
don't
other at the
recognize-
liquor store.
At Hooters, they don't recognize each other at Hooters.
At the liquor store.
Yeah.
That's funny. 'cause
That is
I was
exactly
just in
why-
Tyler, and they had on these gas stations because Tyler used to be dry until very recently, and they're all Baptist down there.
Oh, yeah.
On the gas stations, it would be like no alcohol served here, family first, lowest prices in Texas in tobacco. Like
What?
What? Okay,
Yeah.
What hypocrites?
that works.
What is that?
That's my watch.
No fun.
Yeah, no fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, family
Yeah.
first, no alcohol. It's like,
it's
well,
wild. It's a
I
very
was
geeky
going
watch.
there.
I'm not
I'm sure
gonna
somebody's
lie.
got alcohol.
You tap
Yeah.
it and
it
it.
was
the most
hard
religious-
to
Does it tell
find,
time?
Yeah.
man.
He's getting drunk.
Yeah, you can tell what time it is by the number of LEDs lit on that side, and then that number.
I can't.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Why would you have a watch like
That doesn't-
that?
Because it's epically nerdy.
Does that let me call E.T.?
It even lets me see the date. Like I can see
No,
the
it
date.
doesn't. I can't see anything on there.
That's 6:28. Look,
It's a
Six-
goddamn
It said
6:28.
Lockheed Martin on the back. What's it say?
6:27 rather. See?
So it's gonna be like
You
on
can-
the 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
This
Yeah.
is
It's on
absolutely
like
Okay,
10.
that's the time.
not suitable
10?
for radio.
Yeah.
Okay.
but,
Not suitable for
But it's
radio.
not.
Not
It's
suitable
not
for
10.
radio.
An
Wow.
analog display for a digital
No, it's
clock.
not.
What?
I like it.
Nice.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just
Yeah.
blind a little bit.
that's
Mold.
Hey, it could be. Have you ever seen like the binary clocks? Those will blow your mind, bro. That's for some people like Jeff. Like I can't even figure out a binary clock.
How about the slow clocks?
Yes.
Where they have 24. It's 24
Yeah.
hours on the face of the clock.
Oh,
so
wow.
you just
Yeah.
it's like, okay, it's 1 and 2 notches. That's
Oh,
one,
Yeah.
shit.
40.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like my thing that I just tap in. It tells me what time it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd take time.
And how
but
many steps
you'll
I've
get
taken
it.
today.
I just know a shit ton.
10,000
That's pretty good.
Good job.
with a broken ankle.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. 10,000 Ahab
Yeah,
steps.
yeah, they're technically 1.5 with the peg leg limp in there.
I feel like it's burning more calories having a broken ankle.
I'll be
I'm
a
healing. I'm
child.
healing.
My right hip is mighty.
Hard. So, what's your favorite book, Chris?
What is my favorite book?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
Oh,
law.
I didn't know that's what we were. What?
now it was what you were reading at the time.
Yeah.
But
She,
now,
but
like,
she
you-
said
Now you
favorite.
want to know what my favorite
Yeah.
Like the
book
one
is.
that you give to people, I would
Yeah,
imagine it
yeah.
would be your favorite or one that has a lot
That
of.
is a really interesting question.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Genesis.
I'd say
That's
X.
my
Sega
favorite
Genesis?
book.
I'd say X Men
Sega
number
Genesis.
1, but that's a
Nice.
really
I love
exclusive
Leviticus. I
proposition.
just love to say it.
1823, man.
Like that
Record-
game Slider.
The book that I usually give to somebody if I feel like I need to is not a book that anybody ever likes to read.
Ooh.
It's a book by Norman Mailer called Ancient Evenings. It's set in ancient Egypt, and the characters are. It's a novel, but the characters all think in a context as if they're ancient Egyptians, and so they're
Oh my
not
god, my sister would love that
modern
book.
human beings at all.
Huh.
And it's I've given it to people to read, and they'll give it back to me and just go, ha, ha. My other book that I would recommend, probably my favorite
like
recent book, though, is Infinite Jest, which I know is
That's
something
good.
that is almost kind of like a
Sounds good,
joke in
whatever
the
that is.
literary world as far as people who like it. It's Infinite Jest is like the Grateful Dead.
Yep.
In that I really like the entity, but I don't like people who like it. Like I don't like
You know,
dead.
it's
Like I like
interesting.
the Grateful Dead, but I don't like Deadheads.
Here's the
I
thing.
like.
That's
I
funny.
love Infinite Jest, but I generally don't like people
It's
who
a
like
6
Infinite
hour.
Jest.
It's
So
a
you're
6
like a
hour venture.
self-hating-
But I will.
No, I like it for a very good reason.
I will
But
proudly.
I generally don't think that most people who like it do like it for a good
I will
reason.
proudly state,
know what I mean?
Christopher.
Nice.
I will
like
proudly
that.
state that my wife the other day sat through, and she didn't sit through 6 hours. She says she sit through 6 hours. She woke up halfway into episode 2 of Long Strange Trip on
Right, yeah.
Amazon, which is directed by Martin Scorsese.
And it
You
was
know.
the same guitar solo.
I know. It's like we don't need any more of that. Like we don't need any more of that. There's a reason why Jerry Garcia was in a coma for a number of years because he kept looking at these people, going, "Oh my God, you don't
Well,
get anything I'm fucking saying.
it was-
I'm just gonna go into a coma."
Yeah.
He was like, "Don't worship me. I am not Jesus."
Yeah.
You know what I say? I say, fuck you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like you people do not get it. And when I lived in Northern California,
That's a t-shirt.
oh my God, they're so indoctrinated.
That's
They're
worse
so
than
That's
Baptist.
people who are
badass.
true deadheads.
That's badass.
I mean, it's a cult.
Yeah.
I mean, they are. It is, and I understand the whole roots of the
Nobody
religion.
loves the Grateful Dead.
It's just like, come on, man. You're just,
I think there's loving them
worse
and
than
then there's
Dancing with the
selling
Snakes.
everything you have to go on tour to follow.
Yeah,
them.
yeah. No, I was
Which would be a
not.
deadhead.
Now, granted, I had a professor who actually did his master's thesis, following and chronicling the subculture of deadheads.
well, sure, okay, that's an
Right.
easy topic.
He just
Because
wanted
they
to get
were-
laid by girls.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
and they're one of the
Like,
only like
sell scarves.
subcultures
LSD.
that's like really part of America. It's interesting.
Right, it was.
You know,
yeah.
where like they were utterly created here They were created by a movement that was
fuck
here.
that. Okay, listen, I was with some people in Washington, D.C. We're all deadheads, and they're all super educated.
Sure.
They're like brain surgeons and people.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
kidding.
Oh, God.
This was a former girlfriend
Like
of mine.
Al Franken
all of her
types.
Duke friends. And they're watching literally we're watching dead videos.
Yeah.
They're talking about all the song, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just this dead fucking thing. And one of these women, literally she's a brain surgeon, came up to me and said, "So how many times have you seen the dead?" And I said, "Well, I was unfortunate enough to grow up in Texas where the dead never bothered to come to, so I never got to see the dead."
And
I never got it. And I said,
Richardson banned them.
but I had seen Willie Nelson at least 50 times.
Nice.
And so she said, "Well,"
You don't understand.
she said, "Now that," because we were standing in Washington, D.C. at the moment, and she acted like I'd never been out of Texas, and I was completely uneducated.
Oh, my
buffoon.
God, yeah.
And she
What a
said,
rude-
And she said, "Well, so now you understand that there's something outside of Texas." And I was like, "You obviously don't fucking understand Willie Nelson, you dumb crazy person."
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, so like the Grateful Dead is the ultimate. It's the only niche of society where there's this whole thing.
Right,
It's like,
right.
I guarantee a Willie Nelson concert is just as fucking badass an experience.
Yeah.
Soulful. He's like an
I've-
angel.
And
Oh.
I've probably seen, at this point, Willie maybe
Willie.
50 times. The only person I've ever seen more than Willie is Joe Ely, and I've seen Joe Ely probably maybe 150 times.
Yeah.
And that's,
Do you just
more
go to
times than-
concerts every day?
Mine would be Rush.
it's just...
But-
Well, Rush, I mean, the same thing. Why can't that be the same thing as the Grateful Dead? Rush
Right.
is the
If you
same
have to
fucking
ask,
thing, except there's just no chicks
Chris,
in
if
the
you have to ask, you don't understand.
Well, right. I mean, Rush is the same thing. It's like, so the Grateful Dead is the. I mean, that's the thing
fact
the
is,
Dead has.
and
They're as
Richards-
stupid as Baptist.
And Richards made it to where the Grateful
It's
Dead could not
only-
come into Texas anymore. She
I've
was
heard
the one
that.
that, that was straight up. It was right up around the same time that she
It's
told.
hard for me to believe.
But
It
she
was-
was
what happened?
It was
basically
right up around the
a
same time that
badass.
she'd told like Ozzy, "You can't come here anymore.
Because you're going to pee on
yeah,
our
you're gonna pee
landmarks."
on you're gonna pee on the landmark. You got to go."
did-
And it was like, you're gonna have a song about driving the train high on cocaine. We ain't about that. So you need to get out. And yeah,
I'm just not. I don't know the story about Ann Richards somehow being responsible for
Yeah.
that.
it
Particularly,
was a big
since-
part of it.
Kind of
She was
awesome.
a big train
I'm not
smoker.
gonna say she wasn't fantastic. But she was a big moving because they had
Yeah,
been
no,
here.
dude.
They
Jeffrey,
had
who's your
been here. They'd
go-to
come
I know,
here and
but,
stuff like that.
But it hadn't been since like '80, I think.
Exactly.
Last time they
And
were
that's
here.
what
They
I'm
never were
saying.
here
It
during
was-
my adult life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did see them when they played.
Bob Weir was just here.
Yeah, sure. I saw the when they had
I'm getting ready to go see. Oh my God! It just left my head. I'm sorry.
Train of thought derails.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trying
I
to
think
think
I
who
have any
you would
shows
be
coming up
born.
in-
Damn Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
ACL. ACL.
Well, yeah, it's like in a
Mm-hmm.
minute though. That's in October.
I have tickets again for that. I've
Are you
been
going
to,
first
well,
weekend
I've
this
been to
time?
every single one of them. We had tickets last year, and last year was the first time we actually gave tickets to nephews, because there just wasn't a single act that was playing last year that I hadn't already seen that I
Yeah.
felt like I really wanted to see. All the other ones before, it wasn't necessarily the headlines. I always liked learning new people or seeing obscure people I hadn't seen in a while, or just people I hadn't bought a ticket for, like B-52s or something
Sure.
like that. I saw
I like
Iggy
that.
fucking Pop.
I was gonna say
Stevie
Iggy Pop,
Wonder.
Sound on
I mean,
Sound's
some
coming.
just unbelievable things
Yeah.
like that. But last year we had tickets and we gave them to my nephew. Because
Yeah, I remember that.
It just, there was nothing that made me want to go
Yeah.
down and try to fight the
Didn't
park.
want to go see Kendrick Lamar?
Hall & Oates is who I'm thinking of that I'm getting ready to go
I would
see.
love to see Hall &
Ooh,
Oates.
Yeah.
that's
Hall &
awesome.
Oates would be a good show.
Yeah, I want to say that. Yeah, well, check it out. We'll check into it because quite literally they're getting ready to come to Cedar Park Center, stuff
I
like
saw
that.
Oh, that's
so
a good
No, I
venue.
saw that.
saw Iggy Azalea.
Let's-
The next
Uh,
two tickets I
No,
have
check it out,
are
everybody.
I can't
Jason
remember her name.
Isbell and Sturgill Simpson. Those are the next two tips.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And you put on concerts at your house all the time. You put on all kinds.
Yeah,
of
we
shows, so.
Jason Isbell's
when I'm out of
wife
town.
was Amanda Shires. Was the very first house concert we ever had.
Damn.
Chris is how we got hooked up with Johnny Dango, who's coming on.
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
That's
He's
right.
awesome.
I know.
Hello.
I'm
Very
excited.
cool. Memphis Strange.
Well,
Yeah.
we've got some interesting episodes coming up. I mean, even
Johnny Dangle.
coming.
No, he's great
He's
though.
awesome. He's very
I'm
cool.
excited.
I'm currently working. I'm not going to say anything permanent, but I'm
What you working
currently
on?
I'm currently working on Kinky Friedman to come on the show.
I'm going to tell you why I'm down on Kinky Friedman right now.
Cause
I'm going to tell you why I'm down on him.
all right.
The Man in Black bullshit. He has this tequila called the Man in Black. Like he is somehow the man. I'm like,
Like no, that's Johnny
that's
Cash.
just not, that's fucking wrong. That's wrong and not cool. I'm a Kinky Friedman fan, but if you have Kinky on, that's an issue I have that I want brought up.
They can throw down. They'll be throwing
That's
down.
bullshit.
In this corner.
He should not be calling
Chris,
himself
they'll be
the
throwing
Man in
down.
Black.
You know me.
It's wrong.
You know me, and you know
Wrong,
I am
wrong.
not beyond asking why that exists.
Please do, because that's
You guys
something.
please do.
Because otherwise, I'm a fan of Kinky.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
I love Kinky, but we are getting you ready for me.
seems like
for
a small
some
thing to get over.
Getting
exciting,
good stuff.
exciting stuff.
Kinky.
We just did live from the Marble Falls Adult Soapbox Derby.
God, that was funny and hot as shit.
Oh my God!
Our computer stopped working.
Yeah, we literally found the working temperature differential of a Windows Surface.
Yeah, it was like 100 and a million degrees.
Yeah, it was at
okay.
about
That's what
102
your problem
degrees. At about 102 degrees outside, your Windows Surface will shut down. Just to let
Oh,
you
you
know.
should have
folks.
called Jeff here, man. He'd fix you up.
Yeah, I don't think you can fix that.
Stand there with a fan.
Right.
Yeah.
Just give us some shade.
pizza
Jeffrey,
box.
Just
Some
some
dry
shade.
ice.
Yeah.
You're very tall. You could have given
Yeah.
us some shade.
But coming up,
Because I'm so cool, I just grasp
Yeah.
it. There you go. Come again.
come here, baby.
Rub
Come
some of
here.
that Shaq Icy Hot on.
Come here. Oh, yeah.
Like smear it all over, like.
Oh, gross.
Calms the nerves, ease the pain.
Calms everything.
But literally,
Technical.
coming up in July, we are so excited to finally be doing Dudes and Beer Sustainability Month. It's going to be fantastic. It was a concept that Julie came up with whenever she first came aboard, and we're making
I
it
also
happen.
like the tote bags.
Yeah. She gets all the fantastic
She's all
swag.
about a tote bag.
I
Like-
do.
like-
And it's kind of
I
cool,
got,
though.
I got Dudes and Beer cigars
Yeah.
sent to me as a thank
Like-
you.
That's cool.
Wait,
Gross.
tote bags. Can I go take
I-
those to HEB and put my groceries in them
You can.
instead of a?
You get your
bag.
own damn tote bags. If she's gotten tote bags, that shit's mine, because I didn't even get a Dudes and Beer cigar.
No, I'm keeping all my swag, but feel free
Yeah.
to keep sending it to me. I appreciate it all, and I will give you preferential
Well, when you were doing the show with Jeff Lipton, I'm like, so is that show gonna be at the store? And he said no, at the studio. I'm like, shh.
No, but we're gonna do one at the store.
No.
We're gonna do
It's
one at
coming,
the
it's
store.
Quite
coming.
literally,
It's
But
coming.
he
I'm
sent me
trying to.
cigars.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work on them right
Yeah.
now,
Yeah, we're
and
working
if
on
you
it.
got time, because we're getting ready to wrap up. If you got time, my friend,
I do
cigar
love
smoker.
me some.
Ooh. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing like some hand rolled cigars right here. I got some with me.
It's a nice
They're
little case there, too.
I haven't used this thing in years, but it's nice to be using it again.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean?
There is a ritual.
It's
nice
And
to be
it's-
using it
I'm,
again.
No, I
I'm somebody
probably
that
should.
doesn't do cigarettes, but I love cigars and pipes. Because
Yes,
there's a
exactly.
ritual to it.
So in
There
general,
is.
not a cigar.
There is.
Clip, you
I like
you
pies.
draw it in with a pipe, you pack it right.
So,
and
yeah.
you just there's
There's something great to it.
Let the
And
ash just.
as we close out this episode, y'all, because it's been a little while.
We don't have
thank you
to
guys so much for coming on. I love it whenever y'all come on. We talk about all kinds of wild stuff. I want to have you on sometime soon, Jeff, to talk about internet security and all the crazy things that happen just with internet security to begin with.
Well,
and,
I will
and
say
how
this.
people should watch themselves.
I realized we're a global society when I got the Nigerian email scam
Dude,
in
I got that.
Portuguese.
Yes.
That's when I knew that we were truly one big world.
That's right.
One
That's right.
scammy world.
I was supposed
That's
to
right.
wire some money to some Nigerian.
He's a prince.
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Get
That's
your
exactly
facts
what it
straight.
said.
He
Dude.
needs your help.
Princes don't have bank accounts. That's all I
He
can
was
say.
exiled, if I remember by the email.
Yeah,
Princes
he had
don't
an
have
excuse
bank
as to why
accounts.
he had a
He
Well,
was
his
exiled
father
and
just
he-
It all
died.
checked
Really?
out.
Like I'm not even shitting you. In all sincerity, you think Prince Harry is like rolling up to the fucking ATM with his card and like boop, 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 getting some cash? No, that's not how that shit works. So
No, he gets shit handed to him. He just like,
He just
hey,
pries a
it's
jewel
me.
out
Yeah.
of the crown and says,
yeah,
me.
Pop,
How much can I get for this?
there.
It's me, man.
from
does that
11.
cover
Yeah.
me? The rest
Yeah.
is for you.
Yeah. How do you know he's royalty? He's not covered in shit.
I kind of think the two. What is it? There's Harry and what's the other one?
William.
But
Willie.
yeah.
Willie.
Wouldn't you think? I think like throughout history, wouldn't it be like eventually? Okay, one of them's going to get the crown, right? Eventually.
William's going to get the crown unless Harry shanks him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Therefore,
Or his
you got-
kids. Charlotte might shank him.
Therefore,
Oh, she's so cute. She can
history
shank somebody.
history will repeat itself.
Yeah.
Because one will try to get the other.
Well,
for the-
maybe not. They seem pretty chill. Plus, also, what is the monarchy really like? They visit people
It's a
when they're
figurehead.
sick. I mean,
It's a figure.
nobody's gonna be.
Yeah.
There's
Whew.
On that happy note,
Yeah.
2018, guys.
That's it.
Rock the boat.
Well, and that's just it. Really,
Rock
when people,
something.
when it comes down
don't
to
get
it,
political, Julie Connally.
when it comes down to
I'm
it,
just telling people to vote. That is
Julie's
not
the same.
political.
Julie is the same mindset that I am. If you're going to make a difference, you need to make a difference on that level, because the president does absolutely nothing to make that difference. It's the House, it's the Senate.
Well,
it's
yeah,
those
I mean,
people that make and vote on the laws. The
It
president
should
can
be-
do
it's
nothing without
certain
their
President
consent.
Name.
proposes, Congress disposes. That's
So
the
let's
Nice.
think about that when we're voting. in
Exactly.
2018.
You know, the president doesn't get any information on UFOs or anything because he's a temporary employee. It's a need to know process.
On that
Wait a
note,
minute,
Well,
is that a black?
and,
Wait a minute,
you
is that a
know-
black helicopter right here?
Well. I don't know about all that.
Yeah.
But most definitely, that is time for us to wrap up this episode of the Dudes and Beer podcast. Thank you so much for everybody that's
Need
been
to
listening.
know.
Thank you so
Kipper.
much for everybody that tuned in recently on the app and on Dudes and Beer /live-now. Until next time, everybody, remember, if you can't be good, be good at it.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Dudes and Beer podcast. To listen to our audio streams and chat with us live, download the official Dudes and Beer app for both Android and iDevices, available on the Google Play and iTunes markets. For more episodes, content, and information, visit us online at dudesandbeer.com. You can also find our episodes on Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast service. Dudes and Beer is a proud member of the Revolution Digital Group family of podcasts. Thanks for listening, everybody, and until next time, drink responsibly.